Well, it's interesting. The last time I was here was in 2010 when we were working with some local university partners and a local municipality to enter a Living City design competition. And that was when I really learned a lot about the sustainability of ancient Nepal and the Kathmandu Valley and the ancient kingdoms. But coming back now this year, I've seen the impact of rapid urbanization. Our organization, it's based in the San Francisco Bay Area and was started in Berkeley, California. And the founders were really interested in the intersection between architecture and ecology. They call it arcology. And that's sort of the foundation of the work that we do. We look at sustainable urbanism and ecosystem health and how they are related and how they also can help facilitate or hinder sustainable lifestyles and green economies too. So we're looking at the intersection of the built environment, the natural environment, and cultural systems. Well, we have a framework based on our years of research and sort of like a think tank approach to what is an eco-city. So we look at 4 pillars. We look at urban design and transportation. We look at the biogeophysical conditions, energy, water, food, materials, soil health. We look at sociocultural elements, the economy, the quality of life, education, community participation and governance, and also overarching ecological imperatives that all of us on the planet have to be aware of, biodiversity and living within Earth's carrying capacity. For Lalitpur, I think there is a tremendous potential to achieve eco-city like conditions in all of these areas because Lalitpur still has the urban structure from its sustainable, historic, and ancient past. And I notice it has a lot of the traditions, cultural, religious, and also economic, like a tradition of craftsmanship too, that are all the right ingredients for an eco-city type of environment. So I think that there is a high potential for Lalitpur to really show the way. We see that typically in many cities around the world, that they're very focused on quickly developing as much infrastructure as quickly as possible, and oftentimes that's characterized as smart city development. But the approach that we bring is a more holistic or balanced approach where we question whether something can really be smart if it's not also ecological. We feel that if we're really talking about sustainable development and looking at the future of these cities and resource stocks and sheds in the face of climate change, dwindling, resource scarcity, we have to balance environment with development. So that's the eco-city, tries to find some sort of a harmony. I've been very excited and encouraged by the commitment and the willingness of the mayor of Lalitpur, who wants to lead this idea. The concept is to create an eco-city network of participating municipalities, starting with the Kathmandu Valley, but also it could be a wider network too of other cities, towns, and villages in Nepal who can start to work together and then build a shared vision. And once the shared vision and goals are there, then that will help us lead to proposals for policy, specific implementation, development proposals that are attuned to these standards of wanting to preserve nature, culture, and advance really sustainable urbanism. So I'm excited. I think Lalitpur is sort of planting the flag and saying, we want to take a lead on this. Right now, in this early stage, we're sort of finding out what are the balances, how much can be done at the local level. The way that our organization prefers to work is with a bottom-up approach. So we like to go to the communities and get a baseline assessment. How are things working in a particular ward, for example, as far as their access to clean water, clean air, food security, economic opportunities, education, and all of these parameters that we have in our framework. And once we get that baseline assessment, then we're better able to figure out what can be done at the very smallest scale, like the individual or the household. What needs to be more of a community-based approach? And then what, going outward, do we really need the support from the larger municipality and or provincial or national policy frameworks? Mm-hmm. So I think it remains to be seen, but some overarching shared concerns, like with air quality or water quality, protecting very important watersheds, for example, addressing serious problems of air quality and health. That will probably be a joint responsibility and a shared set of implementation strategies from the national to the very local.
Okay.
I see it as a really exciting opportunity for Nepal, especially because of the new constitution, because of the new mandate that people have a right to a good quality environment, and with the what I see as the very energized and committed platform that the mayors have in wanting to see some real results. We're looking at a 3-year first phase in seeing what can be done to advance this agenda of sustainable urbanism. And so I feel like it's a really good time to get the will of the people together with the newly elected leadership to come up with a shared vision and then some specific steps that can be taken to show some real results. Go city by city and get their feedback as to what their main priority is, and start with that. In some communities, we work a lot right now in Latin America, and oftentimes their priority is solid waste management. And if they want to start anywhere with something that they can, get going on the ground, it would be dealing with this issue. Mm-hmm. So we usually have some back and forth discussion about what is your most pressing concern at the local level, and let's start there. But let's not lose sight of the other larger or other important things as well. We plan to work in partnership with each municipality, with local NGOs, and with local community participants, residents, and leadership to do field-based assessments. So we'll actually be going together and forming teams that are equal numbers of, local government and community, actual, residents, to do a baseline assessment, and from there, together, create a plan. Mm-hmm. Kathmandu, especially, I feel that there are, it's exciting, it's a crisis opportunity because it could quickly go in one direction, mm-hmm. or it could go in a healthy direction, you know? So I feel like maybe there's a crossroads right now, and the sooner this network, you know, it's the sooner from the bottom up, the cities, because cities are where we live, you know, and cities are where the resources flow and where greenhouse gas emissions like come from too. So everything comes back to the city. So I feel like if the cities are able to create this network like they want to, they may be able to head towards a better future. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of pressure right now to just like build. And so it's, you know, I feel like it is sort of like a critical time. Yeah. For this first 3 months, we'll be working most closely with the municipality of Lalitpur. Mm-hmm. And they are proposing to identify 3 different wards that will be the first places where we'll test these concepts.
As a pilot?
As a pilot, yeah. Okay. And we're also going to invite some of the other municipalities to follow along, or also they can participate and replicate some of these initial assessments as well. So we're thinking that the first 3 months is more of like a dialogue and doing some initial assessments. We're looking at wards 6, 16, and 21 as possible pilot areas where we just get to know the people there, do some field work and baseline assessments to start with. And from there, we're hoping to, you know, establish a more formal process and approach. I would say that my message would be that I've traveled a lot and I've visited a lot of different cities, and I feel that the culture of Nepal is very special. It has a unique and very precious resource in its cultural expression, and I feel like that also translates to urbanism here too. So I think that there is an opportunity for the people of Nepal to really retain their cultural heritage and the things that are very unique to the people of Nepal, and to together like create a new 21st century vision of the country that sort of like brings forward those traditions, the culture, and creates a new sort of sustainability that's unique to this country. With the example of the mayor of Lalitpur too, to really have a strong relationship with the different neighborhoods or wards within their municipalities, to get like the participation of the different residents, to hear their concerns and create action plans that are very local, but at the same time, if we use a shared framework, we can better, you know, chart the progress too. So it could be, you know, a shared vision, but very local implementation. And the municipalities will have to coordinate within all of their new committees and departments, you know, to work together.